Hey you guys, this is Joe with Vlipsy, and today I will be talking to you about the awesome site and app that is Vlipsy, and I will discuss with you how easy it is to make a Vlip. So what Vlipsy is basically a site and app that essentially allows you to make GIFs with sound, or Vlips, short for video clips, all with just a YouTube link, some quick edits, and the corresponding hashtags. It is literally super addicting and so easy, and I will show you how to do this right now. So first, as you can see, I have 3 tabs open. I have Vlipsy up, I have my YouTube tab up, and also have imdb.com up, which I'll use to confirm maybe different directors or actors in a scene or shot, or maybe other items in the shot. So what I'll first do is I'll copy and grab the link from YouTube, as so, and then I will go over to Vlipsy and I will click create my own. Now I do have a account already, but it's literally pretty easy to create an account, and it's pretty simple, but you click create your own, and now I add the corresponding link in from YouTube like this. Bam. Click process, and then it goes to that next page. It'll load from the server, and this is now where you cut and edit the corresponding Vlip. Now you're going to move the cursors up and down like this, kind of depending on wherever you want to start. And one second, pause that. And now, because I already know I'm about at 111 on YouTube, where I want to do where I want to start the Vlip, I'm now going to take this to about this cursor to about I think it's about 109. This is from Saturday Night Live. This is classic Superfans. One second.
What's great? There's really no other place to be.
So that was the main part that I wanted to record. So now I'm going to hit this kind of precision trimmer. I'm going to hit this like this, these crosshairs, and then now I can really go up and start to edit this.
There's really no other place to be.
Precisely.
All right. There's really no other place to be.
So we're going to go back.
There's really no other place to be.
So it's a little bit too soon.
There's really no other place to be.
Let's see if I can time that better.
There's really no other place.
So as you can see, it starts at that table. I want to start at
There's
this
really
one.
no other place.
So I'm going to go one more second.
There's really no other
One
place.
more.
There's really no other place to be.
And now I'm going to basically do that with the opposite side. So I'm going to go like this. And it's obviously a little bit too late, maybe about 1:15.
Wait to Detroit.
I'm going to go back.
Alright, we're getting ready.
So I'm going to keep on going back.
Next place to be.
And that looks almost perfect.
There's really no other place to be.
So I'm going to keep on going back
No
until
other
we
place
have that
to be.
exactly.
No
You
other
definitely
place
want
to be.
your Vlips to be short and concise. Everything's meant to be really expressive. Nothing is really meant to be. I would say probably the longest amount of time it should go is about 30 seconds, because otherwise, if you have maybe a whole scene from like a movie, which is nice, and it does condense it a little bit more compared to YouTube, but generally, if you're going to watch something that's that long, it's better off. People are just going to go to YouTube, which Vlipsy is meant to be short and concise and very, very expressive. So I think I have this. Let me play it one more time.
There's really no other place to be. There's really no other place to be.
Maybe make
No other place to be.
And obviously, if you can't cut it off exactly, I think it's better to have that full sound cut, which is still going to go to that next shot. However, I think it's better to have that whole sound to be heard, and even if it goes to maybe like a second shot, as long as there's not too much going on, I think that would be okay. So I think we might have this.
There's really no other place to be.
Alright, so now kind of once we have the particulars of everything's at 110.17 where it ends, and it starts at 108.8, and again you can use those trimmers on both sides to go 0.2 of a second, so that's pretty nice. And again, the whole goal of Vlips and everything is to make them short and expressive. It's basically a video GIF, so you want it to be short. Kind of think of something that you might send to like a friend of yours as a joke, or maybe like a business partner or like family or something. It's really to express yourself, but also it's because this isn't, the normal GIFs where you don't have sound on them. It's literally so easy to do this. It's so addictive, but it's so fun. And again, the idea is to be short and expressive. So otherwise, if you're going to play something or make a Vlip for something that's like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes long, people could just go to YouTube and they're going to have more options as far as like when they can play, when they can't play, and different things like that. So the whole idea of Vlipsy is basically video GIFs that are short and expressive. So now we kind of have that. It looks good to go, and now I'm going to clip the video, which is going to take us to this next screen, where we basically are going to pick our thumbnail or kind of like the featured image. Obviously you want it to be something that people are going to recognize, so this one is pretty short, so anyone who kind of knows Superfans or Saturday Night Live or Chris Farley is probably going to recognize this as Chris Farley. If it's maybe like a longer scene, like 20 seconds or maybe 5 seconds, you obviously want to pick the thing that someone will be able to recognize in the video, in the Vlip, right? Because you want people to be able to tell or find easily what they're looking for. So I'm trying to see if there's anything in particular that would be good. Any particular good places to start that would kind of look like a good one. I kind of like this one because it's kind of expressive, but you also obviously the stash and everything, and you also kind of see the bear in the middle, and you see obviously Chicago. So I think that's good to go. So we're going to click Set Thumbnail, and we're going to see where this takes us. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to click Set Thumbnail. Alright, now, here is maybe one of the more important parts, which is creating your title, adding where the Vlip is from, and adding the corresponding hashtags. Now, this is not meant to be something where you put in a title that is kind of resembling like a meme, by which I mean, you don't want to put, oh, when I'm out with my friends, or oh, when she says yes, or oh, when I'm outside, or when I'm at the bar, or when I see a pretty girl. You don't want that. You kind of want to make them pretty basic, and you don't want to use too many words, because otherwise, if you throw in a bunch of words like, oh, when I'm out with my friends at the bar, all those words are going to pull in search, and that's going to prevent people from finding your Vlip, but it's also going to kind of convolute the search, which means more people aren't going to be able to find the things that they need or the Vlips that they want, which kind of doesn't really help anyone. So you want to make them short and concise if you can. Sometimes you can't do that. And again, you might want to say anything that's kind of in the Vlip, or maybe the particular line that's being said.
Foot's green. There's really no other place to be. There's really no other place to be.
So obviously when you first start this, when you're editing, it's going to play it maybe a couple seconds where you cut the Vlip, but then once you get to that second part, it's going to play only your Vlip. So
there's really no other place to be.
So for the title, I'm probably going to put no other place to be. Give me 1 second. And I don't put in the whole what he said, there's really no other place to be, because you probably don't really need the other word really in there. But again, that's going to hurt your search. So you want to try to make the titles as short as possible and cut out unnecessary words, which having that word really in there doesn't really make sense, because you can get the whole idea of what the Vlip is with just this. There's no other place to be. And so now we're going to say where this is from, which this is from the Saturday Night Live Best of Chris Farley, but I'm just going to put in Saturday Night Live. And now we get to our hashtags, which are very important. So if someone, you can either use the site in the app, or if you're on the desktop, what will happen is that these hashtags are usually the first 4 or 5 things when people are searching through a Vlip, through like multiple Vlips, and they have their cursor over the Vlip. So what will happen is that these hashtags will pop up. So what you want to have happen is that you specifically want your first couple of hashtags to be the things that people will understand pretty much immediately, or be able to see and recognize what the Vlip is going to be about immediately, without having to click through it, but also it gives that simplicity of knowing what the Vlip is, and kind of be able to find it as easy as possible. Plus it creates a really fun experience when you can go through like a page of Vlips and you can see all the different, like maybe the main line from the Vlip, or maybe the main category. Let's say for this one I might put in Superfan, because this is a skit from Saturday Night Live. It's pretty big one, especially with Chris Farley. I love Chris Farley. I always thought he was hilarious. He was one of my heroes when I was younger. I absolutely loved him. But this is also a pretty well-known skit for Saturday Night Live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in Superfan. And this is also where you can pull from imdb.com, which I have right here. This is particular characters from this short, which is this is George Wendt, this is Bob Swirsky or Bill Swirsky Superfans, which again is the first thing it started off with. So I'll do that, and then Chris Farley, football, and notice how I'm putting in football. I'm not putting in football team because obviously if you put in football first, that'll catch football team, that'll catch football maybe party or whatever else people want to search for. You want to make your hashtags as short as possible, but you also want to make them smart. So that word's going to pull in a bunch of other phrases that people might search. I would not put in football team because let's say someone maybe just enters the word maybe teamwork or just team in general. It's going to pull this, and that might pull in the search things that people don't want to find this clip. They're not looking for that. So you literally want to make your hashtag short, simple, and smart. So I have this as football. I'm probably going to put in Chicago Bears. And then, like I said, if I did have this actor right here, George Wendt, in the shot, I'd put his name in there. But he's not. I still might put in Bill Swirsky, even though I know that says Bob Swirsky, but this clip is known as Bill Swirsky. Bill Swirsky Superfans. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Bill Swirsky. And obviously you have the actor's name in here, and I might put in
There's really no other place to be.
like food or maybe bar, but I don't think that's that important right now because again you don't see too much of that.
There's really no other place to be.
No. So it looks like we have all the necessary hashtags, and again, you don't want to put too many onto these. You want to describe kind of what's in the shot, who's in the shot, maybe the actor, the character, kind of what's going on. So I have Superfan, Chris Farley, football, Chicago Bears, and Bill Swirsky. That looks about good to go. The only hashtag I might remove is Bill Swirsky because I could pull Bill. Let's say someone wants to look up Bill Burr or maybe something else that could pull in that search. So this would be the only hashtag that I would wonder whether or not it should maybe remove, but everything otherwise looks good. And there isn't anything iffy with this content or kind of R-rated, so I don't need to click mature content. So I'm just going to click save and publish and give that a second. And bam, we got our Vlips. So I'm going to play it real quick.
There's really no other place to be.
Now, the beauty of Vlips is that you can use them in a ton of different ways. You can use them in iMessage, you can share them on Facebook, you can do it on Tumblr, Twitter, Reddit, Pinterest. You can also share a link. And this link is a pretty dynamic link. You can put it in on like a blog post on medium.com. You can put it on Facebook and it'll pop up. If you want to download it, you can. If you maybe want to send it to someone, over an email. If you want to embed it, you have your code right there. But you can do tons of things with it, and it is very easy to do this. And it's honestly pretty addicting because you can literally fire these things off one by one by one. I'm a huge lover of film. I love the movies. I love going to the movies. I love watching movies, a bunch of different things. And it's pretty fun to be able to do this as a fan of movies. And if you like sharing things with friends, or if you maybe like memes, like I had a job as a global account manager where I kind of prided myself on having some of the best memes. And I took that as a personal thing because that was such a cool way to share things with coworkers or share jokes or inside jokes, or it was kind of a way to kind of color the day, I guess. It kind of make things more fun. Obviously some maybe the older bosses kind of didn't get them or they wouldn't fully understand, so it just made things a lot of fun. And it's kind of cool to have now video GIFs that have sound to it, because a lot of them don't. Whatever platform you're using, a lot of them don't. So it kind of creates this whole different experience, and it's so fun and it is so easy, and I hope you'll come to love it just as much as I do.